Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. I got several charts we're going to cover, daily being one of them, because the market is expanding, and typically this leads to an acceleration or a reversal, and I'm going to show you what that looks like as well. I want to read to you a 15-second chart too, because the market is moving a little bit slower, and I want to just kind of speed this up for brevity's sake. All right, so we're going to look at a 1 minute. We're definitely going to look at that 1 minute too, but I want to read the real time on a 15-second chart. If you're new to the channel, let me show you where everything is located. All right, so we got the videos with the most views here. All right, tons of information if you want to learn how to trade here. This was a favorite. All right, so you can take a look at that. This is the universal threshold, how far the live candle will pull back before resuming. Here's the price action trend. You just need to be able to count to 10. That's it. And then the price action method, I use the majority principle, which states that the minority is compelled to follow the universal chart scale. I will teach you how to use your hard right edge so you do not have to look left and you can know when the market is going to turn. If you're in the market for additional information, I do provide that with live trades. All right, and there's 46 videos here, tons of information, absolutely a lot of details that you can stand to learn should you want to go that far. I had a comment here, and I would definitely want to make sure that we use this information on the daily chart. We can take a look at that as well. But yes, taking that setup, okay, and flipping it upside down, okay, most of the time it absolutely will work, my friend. So you're right about that, Mitch. You're absolutely fantastic for even noticing that. So that's great. I'm so glad that you did that. And we're going to look at the daily using that approach as well. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. So let's take this little pop to the downside. Let's do this. Okay. And now if it didn't want to go here, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to project this up. All right. So that's what it's suggesting, that it can get up there. Okay, this is something that we're wanting them to actually do that. Really, I mean, it's really important that they do so. Mainly because whenever you get this expansion effect, all right, so you had it come in here, but they didn't get it up. It actually doubled back, and then we came in on the low, and then you got the rally came in here. Okay, now this time when it came in on that top, they came back in, but they couldn't break that high. It came back in, but they couldn't break that high. And then there's your acceleration to the downside. Came into here, we came in on this low, but they didn't want to get back up. Came in on that low as well. And then of course they turn that corner. When they turn the corner, you can see that push there. They came in, but they couldn't drop it. And so here's the acceleration up. Here's that push down. They could definitely go ahead and run it to the upside. And again, that turn that they did, Mitch, yes, absolutely, my friend. They can get up here if they so choose. All right. But I definitely want to point to you that whenever that acceleration or the expansion of the market is there, there's an acceleration or reversal. So just try to keep an eye on that. Definitely do that. Don't let these guys trick you. They're going somewhere all the time. Absolutely. I showed you guys the daily chart here. There was a level here, a static level here. I wanted to see if they could hit it. They got really close and kind of turned away. But now they, of course, they are crossing and they made that new high. And again, we want to kind of see if they can get up there to that 265. All right. So let's see if they can pull that off. It's really important that they do. All right. Because if they don't want to go down just yet, we're going to see what they're willing to do. All right, so here's the ranges. So if you're in the market to, trade ranges, this is something that you can definitely utilize. All right, you can kind of see that news information here. I'm not going to be before you long. They kind of spiked down first, and we're going to take a look at this information on a 1 minute chart, and then of course they came back up. Now let's just take a look at this from the bottom. So they made that bottom. They were running down really hard here, and you'll want to stay beneath the center of the chart if you're bearish. And if you can get above the center of the chart, fantastic. Now, this is the lower half of the chart, the upper half of the chart. All right. Now, those are the range times down there at the bottom, 12:15 to 1:45 Eastern and 6:15 to 7:45 Eastern. All right. So they began to get above well, I thought they did. Maybe not right there. Let's see. Can we get it here? All right, we're getting above the lower half of the chart. Did we make that new low? Yeah. All right, so let's see if we got it here. Okay, there's that turn that I was looking for. Here we go. All right, so you want to use your chart scale. That's really important. I've been trying to cover this for you guys on a lower time frame as well. And again, it's there for you for the short side as well. As you can clearly see, if they can stay beneath the center of the chart, yes, they can absolutely fall. You kind of just want to see them stay above the lower half of your chart to get that pop to the upside, as well. When it comes to the downside, if they're turning from, of course, a rally, you want to get them under the upper half of your chart in order to see them decline. You want to keep them above the center of the range. All right. And these are the two ranges. There's two additional ranges that's included with the educational, the private playlist. So these aren't the only two that I know about. All right. These are just two, again, that I'm willing to share with the public. And it's really simple. It's not complicated at all. Kind of give you somewhat of a bias when it comes to looking at the market. All right. Now, speaking of which, I'm going to show you this. Here are your levels for the weekend going into next week. This is yesterday's. We didn't even reach back this far. We didn't. Here's today's level. Now they should end today close to what this is. All right. We don't have much longer to go for today. So these prices, should they change, I'll try to leave them below the video as I did the last video that I made. I'll try to leave them below the video, but definitely look at these prices going into next week. So we want to just see if we can keep them above that 476, give or take. Give or take. Definitely don't want them back below that 254. All right. So we just want to see if we can do that. All right. So if you want to try to stay within, I guess, risk tolerance when it comes to the daily's volatility, that market analyzer comes with the indicator suite as well as this information here. All right. So want to make sure I show you that. Now here comes the trend. All right. Here's the trend. Here's the trend distance. Here's the trend. Here's the trend distance. Typically, whenever you get the trend, give me 1 second. Typically, whenever you get the trend, there's some kind of cycle. All right. So the moment the trend is set, typically they'll cycle. I just want to tell you that. So don't be caught off guard. And then you have the center of the trend or the cost of the thought, because the marketplace is a marketplace of ideas. All right. Remember, the chart is no more than someone's thoughts. That's all it is. And so I want to show you what that looks like. So when you have a thought, you have the end in mind. And this is what the market is. It's a marketplace of ideas. I get the whole reference points of open, high, low, and close. Makes sense. All right. But we're talking about making decisions, and that's what this is. It's a place of decisions and full of ideas. All right. So some people think that it's going to go up, some people think it's going to go down. However, whoever controls the outcome is the one that's going to get it to actually go that far. And so, with that idea being present there, Mitch, I want to definitely tell you, when they had this trend here and they didn't want to go past that trend, we flipped that scenario just as we did on that daily. And as you can see, the news popped down there, hit that distance, and then took off to the upside. Now, here's those zones that I told you about. And if you have the indicator suite, you should have that. Okay. And again, when they reach into these zones, don't be so quick to just go that way, people. Please don't do that. I hate to see you get your stop ran. They ran outside those zones, managed to work themselves right back in there. And then, of course, they took off to the upside. Now, here's all of that cyclical movement that they did right after that news. And of course, you have your trends in here. Now, there's a projected distance that I did for this move here. Okay, so that move to the upside, that off of that news, I projected that distance here. All right. After they decline, where did they decline to? Right about the midpoint, that live threshold of that bar. Okay, I just don't have the threshold up here, but that threshold of that bar, they dove right into that and then came back up. So I projected that distance for you. All right. And then, of course, we had the trend distance here. Here's the trend. There's the trend distance off the trend bar, and there's the center of the trend. All right. So let's take a look at that and see how far we've made it thus far. We haven't gotten we haven't gotten there yet. It's not to say that they can't make it, but eventually I'm sure that they will. All right, so now let's look at the 15-second chart, and then I will absolutely be out of you guys' hair. I want to point this out for you too, as well, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, I was online and I saw this individual here. I don't know who this person is. They have 231 subscribers here, but they had 6,000 views, and he's just talking about he's tired of losing at trading. Loads of comments, all right, and a ton of likes. I don't pay for any views, subscribers. I don't pay for likes. I don't pay for any of that stuff, you guys. So if you could be supportive, just be supportive, because this person is just talking about they're tired of losing. I got over 800 people here on the channel. Okay, I'm gonna show you that as well. I took a snapshot that same day. I got over 800 people here on the channel, but we can't seem to get the likes up to at least 10 likes. And again, I'm not trying to entertain you. I'm not trying to mislead you with a bunch of stuff that you don't need. want to get you some information that you can take action with. All right. So appreciate the comments that's being left. I appreciate those that are kind enough to actually support the video. But if you could, definitely, please get this information to people that actually need it. All right. So just want to say that to you. All right, so this is the trend distance. We just went over this. Now, this is us. Okay, this is how we operate within life. We have a thought, we have an action, habit, character, and then we have a destiny. We choose the outcome, but we can't control it. We trust in the function of how this works. The market is absolutely the same way, but there's just a little caveat here. The participants, they actually create the outcome and they have designed the function, so they're not trusting in it. All right, they know exactly how it's going to play out, and that's why it's really important to have in mind what the market is going to do. They're coming beneath the center of the chart. We're going to try to read this just a bit. We have our trend here. Let's get our arrow here, and I'm going to try to map this out for you for a little bit here, and then I will absolutely be out of your hair. I want to give you a lot of information to go with here. All right, so that's saying that they can get here. All right, that's saying that they can get here, which will be through this low. They're beneath the center of the chart. So unless majority kicks in, this is what majority looks like if you're new. We're trying to get, let me just kind of slide this out the way just for a moment so I can get this information here. We're trying to get the larger wick, smaller wick scenario. Okay, now each one of these can be in isolation can be traded. However, I do encourage you to try to find the ones that have it all. All right. Now, I have an indicator that's trying to find that for you. We'll look at that in just a moment. But we're trying to get the larger wick, smaller wick effect, or the smaller body, larger body. And if we can't get these two, which they should be there, but if not, what we're going to do is we're going to look for the midpoint to exceed the bar's high to go long, or we're going to get the midpoint to exceed the bar's low if we want to go short. Now, typically the market will pull back into that live threshold there and then resume. It will pull back into that live threshold and then resume. All right, that's what we're looking for. So these are the three different ways majority can show up on your chart. It's being colored with the red and green bars. All right, so you're getting these red and green bars. That's the DTT, no touch, no close bar color. All right, that's that. You get the IN, that's trying to find your wicks and your body scenario. All right, so that's your increase indicator. All right, if you have the indicator suite. Now I do have the pressure that comes on should the majority setup with the bar color show up. All right, that pressure will kick on and tell you, hey, that's taking place, and it would alert you to that. Again, the trend is the trend signal here that you're seeing. And again, typically they'll cycle back and turn the other way once they make that trend distance. So I just want to tell you that they're almost there. All right, they're almost there. Now, the increase indicator, as well as the color, all of it was here. Okay, it was all here. And as you can see, we made that. All right. Now, the same thing was here. We kind of got everything lined up here. And of course, they made this one as well. Unfortunately, this one didn't want to work. All right, that one didn't want to work. That's fine. All right, so we're just trying to find majority on the chart. It's really important that you do that. All right, see, can you find it? All right, to see, can you find it? They did it here. Let's see, can they get this one down? They pulled into this one. Let's see if they can get that lower. And should they want to do that, that's going to align to there. Now, when it comes to the live threshold, hopefully it'll kick on here. I see the pressure coming on. But that red bar, they pulled into that threshold and begin to move down. Let's see if they'll just go ahead and stay down. But if not, they'll come up to this threshold here. I don't want to hold you long. Okay, so there's our color. We measured it out. Okay, well, actually, we got to measure this one. I'm sorry. Let's measure this one. All right, we measured that one. Let's measure this one. That's saying that they're going to get at least here. They may get past this one. They may. Let's see. They pulled up to it, got really close. Just everything is not there respectfully as far as the body. The body is not there, just the wicks. The body is not there. We need this body to be able to fit inside this body at least twice. That's not there. These wicks are pretty much one and the same, so that's not it either. We want to try to find it all. Just want to get all of it together. That's all. Okay, so they're going to push up. They got to this one. They did do the trend distance, so all of that came together. They haven't broken this low yet, so I do suspect that they're going to move even lower. They're still beneath the center of the chart. They're just slightly above the lower half of the chart, slightly above it, not by much, not by much. Typically, I like the threshold on the colored bars. Now, I do want to tell you that. typically I like those. All right, that's just me. I like to the threshold that's near the stop. That's all. I don't mind playing the ones in between, but I like the ones near the stop. That's all. Most of the time, they shouldn't get that far. I just want to tell you that most of the time they shouldn't. But I do like the ones on the bar with the color. That's all. The stop bar, the bar with the color. Like it on that one. All right. So let's see what they plan to do with this. They pulled into that threshold. Okay. They didn't close above it here. Okay. Now they're turning back around. They're suggesting this one more time. Let's see. Can we get this one to show up on it? Okay. Let's do this. I'm trying to go estimation here. Let's okay. That's saying that. Now that's pretty much all in one. So that's pretty good. Let's no, we don't want to remove it because that just didn't work. So let's just do this. It didn't work. That one didn't work. And it's saying, okay, it actually made it. All right. So you don't, and it blew the low as I suggested. Here's the trend distance. You don't want to stay in the market too long. All right. You don't want to have to be there too long. Find you a couple of these in a day and, get off it. Don't sit there and keep trading. Whatever you do, don't do that because sometimes they cycle. Okay. The market is never going to just stay in one direction. So just try to keep that in mind. If you get a trade to work in your favor, it's okay to say, hey, I'll come back in a little bit, take a break if you have to, maybe 20, 30 minutes. Give yourself time to, digest what just took place as well. Allow the market to develop just a bit to give you a little bit more information. All right, that's really important. If you want to look at the hourly real quick here, let's take a look. Here's the hourly. All right, they've been up. Now I did put the manipulation indicator in this chart for you because I've been telling you guys about the market. Whenever it stalls, it'll typically give you about 4 bars when it stalls. It'll be about 4 of them locked inside of here. All right, so I have that manipulation indicator on here just to give you an idea of what that looks like. Okay, now we're talking hours here. We're talking hours. That's a long time. Now, eventually, they came out of that and they got on their way, which is fantastic because don't no one wants to deal with that. All right, but this could help you get your timing. All right, this could help you get your timing. We had 3 of them happen here, and then eventually you got the 4th one out of it. All right, so that's good. You don't let these guys trick you about what their intentions are. I just want to make sure that I say that to you. I already gave you guys what what this level is. All right, it's important. It's important because the market is it's on wheels. I'll just say that it's on some training wheels. It's not random. It doesn't just run as far as it wants to go. It must respond in a very simple manner. All right, it's very simple, and I'm trying to explain to you what that looks like. I'm doing my best that I possibly can to do that. And if you appreciate that, do make sure that you hit the like button, leave a comment. Any form of appreciation for the content that I'm sharing would be much welcome. I just want to say that to you. I definitely want to make sure that each one of you have what I didn't have when I first started trading, and that's some information that actually works. I just want to say that to you. You got to get some stuff that works. All right, and that's the only way you can look at the market. I want to say this to you as well. Terminology will not get your trading to work. So if you're online, I know they have a trend distance here. Let's see if they can get that to show up. Let's see. If you're online looking at people talk to you about the market based on terminology, and I'm not going to go too far in here with this reference here, but I do want to share with you. There's a lot of information online about chalk and fair value gaps and all of that stuff. Even you know swings and internal pivots and all of this. Listen to me because when I'm here explaining to you guys how to look at the chart, I'm trying to make sure that you understand this majority, because before there was electronic trading, there wasn't any fair value gaps. It wasn't any of that stuff that's being discussed, changes of character and all that other stuff that people are pushing at you. You need to be able to understand majority. All right. All you had was price and time. That's all you had. They're still beneath the center of the chart so they can rotate back. That's all you had. Okay. So you want to just make sure that you're not allowing your trading to become convoluted or saturated with a lot of information that at the end of the day can complicate your experience. All right. Just want to say that to someone. Maybe there's someone that needs to hear that. You want to come to the chart and find what actually makes it move, and that's majority. All right, just want to say that to you. It's really important that you find the 3 different ways that majority will show up on your chart. That's the only thing that's allowing this to move. Professional trading does not wait on any of the information that's online currently. All right, professional trading been going on long before the internet brought the trading to the public. Trading been going on for a very long time. Okay, so just try to keep that in mind. That's all. Just try to keep that in mind. Terminology will not get your trading to work. I do believe they can come back past here, but right now this is what they're saying. All right, this is what they're saying, that they will go at least this far. They saying that they will go this far. Now, once they get here, I will absolutely get off here and let you guys go. You can begin to evaluate whether the market can move further over the weekend. When it comes to that daily, again, we want to try to see if they can get higher. We want to see if they can get higher up here. Okay. Now, they may take a break before they get up here. They may take a break, but they're entering a place that it could possibly slow down. Possibly, all right, because of that expansion, all right, and unless they plan to accelerate, all right, unless they plan to do that, they got there, all right, so that's just fantastic. Again, they're beneath the center of the chart still currently, so it's an opportunity. Should they not want to get here, you may see them again come back through that low, because I said that they would absolutely come back through here. I do believe that. I don't think that this is it. They may want to reach down. That would be just to the center of the trend, the cost of the thought. Remember, the market is like you and I. This is a marketplace of ideas, all right? Nothing but ideas. So this is the center of that trend. Want to make sure you guys can come here and learn. It's all about education. Just want to say that to you. It's all about education. If you find value in the information that's here, do as what's suggested down here. Okay, like, subscribe. Even if you would like to donate, that's fine as well. To prove that you are interested in the channel, that's all. Just prove that you're here for the right reasons. Fate brought you here. I want to say that fate brought you here. I didn't pay for likes, views, and subscribers. Fate brought you here. So if you're really interested in the channel and the content that's here, support the information. That's all. Be sure to do just that. And I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.